Hi everybody, welcome to the next installment of breaking down our yoga poses. So today we're going to be looking at tree pose. So this is such a beautiful pose and metaphor that we can take on and off our mats. And the reason why I say that is tree pose is a balancing pose and we're all trying to find this stillness and balance within our lives. And we will never find that absolute stillness. So as what we do on the mat and what we do on and off our mat, both consciously and unconsciously, is continuously making these adjustments, these small little micro adjustments to find that stillness that we're looking for, to find that balance. And we always want to tend to not make any movements to find that stillness, but it's natural to do that. It's natural to make adjustments to suit us where we are at that very moment, because every day is different. So the same, if you want to even extend this further and really link tree pose to the outside world, if you think about a tree, it's constantly making adjustments to suit its current environment. So it's really such a beautiful pose if you actually look in depth at how it can translate off the mat. So let's just dive straight into it. You're going to come to a standing position. You can come to the center of your mat, and I highly encourage that if you are new to yoga or generally feel like you don't have good balance or are pregnant, I would suggest coming to a wall or having a chair close by that you can just have a little bit of a support. So there's variations of this pose, and I'm going to start with the full variation and then I'll show you alternative options, alternative ways to change the pose. So in your standing position, you're going to transfer your weight over to your left foot and you're going to draw your right knee into your chest or in line with your hip. And you're going to take your ankle and place your foot, the inner sole of your right foot, into the left inner thigh. And you really want to try and make that connection. So as much as you're drawing your right sole of the foot into the left leg, you want to draw the left leg into that sole of the foot. So it's a pressure from both sides. You want to ground into all four corners of that standing foot, of that left foot. So really drawing the energy from the ground up through that left leg. You want to keep your hips as square as they possibly can go and keeping your right knee drawing towards or gesturing towards the back of the room. So when we tend to open up this right knee, we tend to want to almost move our hips. So you really want to try to keep your hips straight and start gesturing that right knee out towards the back or out towards the side. From here, you're going to start to draw your frontal ribs in and up. And you're going to draw your tailbone down to create length in the lower spine. And you're going to bring your hands to your heart center. And it's really easy for us to almost hold our breath in this pose. We feel like if we really don't breathe and keep absolutely still, then our balance will be better. And it's breath that will actually allow us to find that balance a little bit more easier. So a great thing to do is to find that focus point, whether it's a spot on the floor or out in front of you, just to find that focus, that drishti. And it's quite nice to find a spot on the floor because it allows us to soften our eyes a little bit. And your hands are at heart center, you're broadening your collarbones, and drawing the shoulders away from the ears. And this focus that we build in this balance allows us to build concentration and allows us to balance out the left and right side of our body, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And the strength that we use in the left foot allows us to build strength in the muscles around the knees and the ankle joints. And I encourage you to stay in this pose for at least 5 breaths. And it's okay if you fall out, you just come back in. And as you can see, even I'm making little movements, and it's my foot finding that balance. And that's what builds that strength in those ankle muscles and the knees, is that constant activation of that foot, finding that balance, finding that grounding. And then to come out of it, you'll just gently bring your knee back up and place your foot down and just maybe shake out the knees, maybe roll out that left ankle. So some nice variations that you can take here, especially if you are new to the practice and you are still building up that strength in your legs as well as building up the opening of your hips. You can take two variations. So the one is to rest the toes lightly on the mat and bring your foot against your ankle. So both these variations that I'm showing you now really allows you to be able to open up this right knee. The other variation that you can take is placing your foot on your calf. Again, also lovely variation, and this allows you to build your balance up just as much as if you are placing your foot on your thigh. Your hands will still remain at your heart center. So these are two lovely variations. The one thing that we see quite a lot and what we want to really try and avoid is placing our foot on our knee. We really don't want to put any pressure on our knee joints, and even though it seems like the perfect position, your knee almost fits perfectly in that arch of your foot, we really don't want to place our foot on the knee. So your foot needs to be above or below your knee. So we'll do that on the other side. And when it comes to changing sides, you want to make sure that you choose the same variation as you did on the other side. So if you had your foot on your thigh or on your knee on the one side, you want to do the same on the other just to really balance out the bodies. And your hand variation or gesture can be different on each side. So maybe you want to extend your arms up overhead and gaze towards the ceiling or the sky, wherever you may be. Maybe you interlace all fingers but the index, drawing your arms in line with your ears. Or maybe you just take your hands down to your heart center. Again, 5 breaths on this side.